You drafted Bronny to appease LeBron. One thing that never gets talked about, and I don't understand why, you hired LeBron James's podcast co-host as the head coach of your organization, a person who has never had any coaching experience ever, to appease him as well. And he's not a good coach. But for whatever reason, JJ Redick ducks all smoke. Why does JJ Redick not get smoke for not being a good coach?
How do we know that he's not a good coach?
Because they don't win. That's why.
Charlamagne Tha God has ignited a major controversy, sending shockwaves through the NBA community with pointed remarks about the Los Angeles Lakers. His comments weren't casual observations or mild disagreement meant for background noise. They were forceful, direct, and impossible to dismiss. With firm conviction, he challenged the team's leadership and zeroed in on LeBron James as a key figure in the franchise's recent struggles. Rather than blaming injuries or temporary setbacks, he suggested the problems run deeper and may be tied to LeBron's influence within the organization. The argument was bold and highly debatable. Instead of lifting the Lakers back to dominance, LeBron's presence may have contributed to their downward slide. As a result, the basketball world is buzzing, with fans and analysts fiercely divided over whether this criticism exposes an uncomfortable truth or crosses the line.
Oh, Jeannie Buss.
Was it ESPN?
I saw a headline, but she said that LeBron wasn't grateful enough that they drafted Bronny. Was that the...
Listen, I don't know if LeBron, he did say something like that, but I've had this theory for a while. I've said it in numerous group chats with different sports people. The worst thing that has happened to the Lakers over the last 7-8 years has been LeBron James.
So where do you stand in this growing NBA controversy? Do you believe, like Charlamagne Tha God suggests, that LeBron James has had a negative impact on the direction of the Los Angeles Lakers, or do you see him as the driving force who kept the franchise in the spotlight and fighting for relevance year after year? Some fans argue his influence over team decisions created setbacks, while others point to his leadership, championship success, and star power as proof that he elevated the organization when it mattered most. This debate isn't slowing down anytime soon, and passionate opinions are coming from every corner of the basketball world. Now it's your move. Share your perspective, back it up with real reasons, and let's find out which side truly has the strongest case in this heated discussion.
Well, it depends what you mean by worse.
Definitely in the last couple of years. Yes, he bought them a championship, right, in the bubble. Great. I don't think the Lakers have ever had a problem putting butts in the stand, right? It's the Los Angeles Lakers. They've never had a problem selling merch. It's the Los Angeles Lakers. But in the last couple of years, let's think about the things that have happened. LeBron James got Bronny James drafted, right? Which is great. That's a great story as a father and everything else. But when you're talking about basketball business, it wasn't good for the business of basketball, especially for the Lakers organization, right?
What truly set this situation apart was the intensity behind the message. Charlamagne Tha God wasn't reacting to a single missed jumper, a rough night on the court, or even one underwhelming season. Instead, he questioned the entire LeBron James era in Los Angeles, portraying it as a long-term gamble that may have altered the identity of the Los Angeles Lakers. He suggested that when the Lakers brought LeBron in, they didn't just add a superstar to the roster, they shifted the balance of power within the organization. According to this perspective, the franchise began prioritizing the preferences and influence of its biggest star, rather than operating with the firm, championship-driven structure that once defined its legacy. The core argument is bold and controversial. In trying to build around one player's vision and authority, the Lakers may have moved away from the traditional formula that made them one of basketball's most respected powerhouses.
Why? How can we confirm that? If we're talking about basketball business,
he hasn't produced. Basketball, you got to. Well, if I do a draft pick, right, that person has to produce on the court. If Bronny James was any other player and not LeBron James' son, you would be saying that was a bust fight.
The debate becomes even more intense when you trace the timeline of events. When LeBron James joined the Los Angeles Lakers, expectations skyrocketed overnight. The move seemed logical at first. He delivered worldwide attention, boosted the franchise's business value, and reignited hopes of hanging another banner in the rafters. That promise was fulfilled in 2020 when the Lakers captured the championship inside the Orlando bubble. However, critics including Charlamagne Tha God argue that the title eventually became a protective layer, used to defend seasons marked by roster changes, uncertain direction, and disappointing playoff outcomes. In their view, the championship remains a historic achievement, but it also softened the scrutiny surrounding the instability that followed.
This is where we got to define the terms. when I hear you say business, I mean like financial reward. I'm hearing financial reward. There's also like the business of winning games.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, because those are different. Because the argument I would make for LeBron James is
Financial reward, probably yes.
like when you bring him to Cleveland, for example, like he was generating billions of dollars, literally, I'm not making that up, of revenue for the city of Cleveland. Now, you make a good point where the Lakers are going to sell out every single night no matter what. But they're...
With LeBron, you can sell those tickets a little bit more.
With LeBron, you're not only going to sell them a little bit more. LeBron brings other talent there, i.e., like a Luka.
They haven't won though.
Looking at it through the lens of Charlamagne Tha God, the 2020 championship doesn't hold the same traditional value as other NBA titles. His viewpoint centers on the unique circumstances of that season, played inside the Orlando bubble without the normal 82-game grind or the intense home and away playoff atmosphere fans are used to. While many still recognize it as a legitimate achievement, he argues that the setting makes it different from a standard championship run. Fair or not, that opinion resonates with a segment of the fan base who believe the Los Angeles Lakers accomplished less on the court during the LeBron James era than expected. For a franchise historically associated with dominance and sustained excellence, some critics feel the overall results have fallen short of the massive expectations that came with his arrival.
I think the people who own the team, right? They're not buying the team just because they want to win championships. We agree with that, right? Like they also want to make money, that this is like a profitable endeavor. And having LeBron on the team and keeping LeBron happy is worth it, because you could own, and I'm putting only in quotes, you can only pay LeBron $40 million a year, whatever the salary cap is, but he's generating your team a disproportionate amount of money compared to the amount that you're paying.
The controversy deepens when you consider the claim that many of the Lakers' roster moves and organizational choices revolved around keeping LeBron James happy. One of the flashpoints was the drafting of his son, Bronny James. Fans celebrated it as a historic father-son story, a first-of-its-kind moment in NBA history. But critics saw it differently, accusing the franchise of favoritism and bending its decisions around one player's family. Charlamagne Tha God.
And then, like, look what she said. And team sources told ESPN she even begun to turn against the Lakers star player LeBron James. Jeannie privately grumbled people close to the team say about what she felt was James' outsized ego and the overt control that he and Clutch Sports, which represents both James and Anthony,
they do have that,
exerted over the organization at times. She didn't like that James was considered a savior for a floundering franchise when he arrived in 2018, and that it was he who chose the Lakers rather than the team's leadership receiving praise for landing him. Team sources have been adamant for years that James Camp informed the Lakers as early as 2017 that he was coming to join them when he became a free agent the following year. The distance between Ginny and James widened after the Lakers traded for Russell Westbrook in July 2021. People close to the team said the team had made the trade in an effort to appease James, but the acquisition backfired in catastrophic fashion. LA went 33-49 and missed the playoffs, and James seemed to wash his hands of his role in the...
The discussion quickly moves beyond wins and losses into the realm of control and influence. Charlamagne Tha God took aim at the franchise itself. His argument suggests the Los Angeles Lakers, once a team that set its own course, started reacting to LeBron instead of steering the ship. Decisions that historically reflected the organization's identity now seem shaped by the desires of a single player. And according to Charlamagne, when a team begins to chase a superstar rather than lead with its own vision, it risks losing the core identity that once defined its legacy. Another lightning rod in this debate revolves around the Lakers' leadership choices. Charlamagne Tha God signified the LeBron James era. The critique isn't decisions missed the mark, it's that they may have been reasons. Coaching has faced scrutiny as well, especially when star-studded rosters fail to dominate consistently. Charlamagne's point is simple: in Los Angeles, winning should be the base, not the exception, and excuses about injuries, chemistry, development carry little weight. Yet the conversation is more nuanced, because while these criticisms strike a chord with many, LeBron James has never been just another player. He's a force that reshapes every team he touches. From Cleveland to Miami, and now Los Angeles, rosters, strategies, and even team culture bend to fit his vision. The results are undeniable: championships, global attention, skyrocketing revenue, and sold-out arenas turned every game into a worldwide spectacle. But for Lakers fans, success isn't only measured in dollars, it's banners, rings, and lasting dominance. While the 2020 title checked the championship box, the seasons around it were marked by injuries, constant roster changes, missed opportunities, and early playoff exits, leaving supporters torn between awe and frustration. Critics argue that LeBron's influence sometimes prioritized immediate wins over long-term stability, reshaping the roster on his timeline and trading away young prospects in pursuit of short-term glory. Yet supporters counter that when a superstar of his caliber arrives late in his career, the mission is simple: win now, and he delivered. Today, with rising young talent and leadership shifts, the Lakers face a new challenge, blending LeBron's legacy with a sustainable future. His impact is no longer just about stats or rings, it's about how the next chapter of the franchise honors the imprint of a player who changed the game, both on and off the court. Stop everything, because this isn't just about wins and losses anymore. Charlamagne Tha God has pushed the Los Angeles Lakers into a serious moment of self-examination, highlighting a real identity crisis. The franchise is stuck between honoring the era of LeBron James and building for the future. LeBron isn't just a superstar, he's a force that reshapes everything around him, which means the last several seasons weren't random chapters but one continuous era defined by his influence. And the story isn't finished. Every win strengthens his legacy, every loss fuels his critics, and every roster move adds another layer to his impact in Los Angeles. This isn't media hype, it's a turning point in how we measure his time with the Lakers, because legacies aren't built on a single ring or season, they're shaped by years of decisions, results, and consequences. So the real question is simple: has LeBron elevated the Lakers' future or complicated it? Drop your thoughts below and subscribe for more real NBA breakdowns.